So, Seamus, obviously we arrived a couple days ago, so everyone kind of getting their time zone adjusted. How has that gone for you so far?
Good. I've gotten to go overseas a few times for hockey, so I've had some experience, I guess, like trying to get adjusted. Just trying not to take naps and stuff, but it's been good. Feeling good.
And what was sort of the day like yesterday? I mean, it's always nice to be on these trips for the hockey part, but to be able to get that day off, it was a beautiful day. What did you kind of do yesterday?
I did a lot of just walking around, and obviously like Pally, he's from around here, so like, he knows all the good dinner spots and stuff. So that we've been doing that. But yeah, no, just did some exploring, walking around Old Town, just hanging out.
And anything stick out to you, just like by exploring?
I mean, it's obviously a beautiful city, right? Like, I think like the architecture and stuff, and like how old the buildings are. I don't know. That's always cool to me.
Now, obviously, there's an opportunity here for you, hockey-wise, to potentially make an NHL debut coming up on Friday. Would your parents be able to get, is that something that's being talked about in the Casey family?
They're trying to get here, and like whether I play or not, like they're like, I was like, I can't guarantee I'm playing. They're like, well, it's either way. It's a trip to Prague. Like, it's Europe. Like, we'll have fun regardless. Don't worry about that. But we can't. If you do get to play, we can't miss your first one. So, I think they're trying to get here, and maybe my brothers are going to try to find a way. So, hoping to have them here. Yeah, we'll see.
What has it sort of been like, if you can wrap your head around the idea of, we've talked so much about your camp, but a first real road trip to start a season, you've gone overseas with the whole group.
Yeah, all my first experiences, it's pretty cool. Like, some of the guys are like, it's not always like this, by the way. But no, it's been awesome. Super cool.
And then watching you on the ice, it looks like Jeremy Colton has you on that second wave of the power play right now, just playing in that spot there. What does that mean to you, that they've seen something in you? And we've talked to Sheldon about it too. He's been really impressed with your poise and everything, that there's that potential that you're jumping right in a very important spot in this lineup.
Yeah, it's huge. To have confidence from your coaches is always, like, I think we've talked about that. Like, it's going to help you play. Yeah, it feels good. I love being in that role, and to have that opportunity is huge.
Thanks, Dougie.
And those are some really incredible players. So just trying to get them the puck, and I love it.
I was gonna say, we've also talked about how you're like, no one ever misses a pass. Everybody's right. So what is that positive pressure like when you're in that position on the ice in particular, especially on the power play?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, like I was saying, those guys are so good. So really, just trying to my job on the power play is just to get the puck out of my hands, really, and just find ways to set those guys up with as much time. And they make it pretty easy on me. My job should be easy as long as I do it right.
It's so interesting talking to you, because I understand that you're a rookie and you're coming in and you haven't played yet, but you've made this separation of me, them, because a lot of these guys have been here a long time. But have you sort of had time to maybe grasp the understanding that you have those skills too? There is a degree of you are also an element of that.
Right.
Do you know what I mean by
that?
that?
Yeah. I think there's a balance of knowing that you're a rookie and but also I still I'm here for a reason, and when I'm out there on the ice, I gotta try to do something out there. I know what you're saying. I guess just it's a good question.
I guess in the way I'm presenting it, it's that must be a powerful, meaningful thing, right?
Yeah.
To understand what you feel that difference is, but there are people here who say, no, you belong there too.
Right. Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from the coaches, reinforcing, and the guys, just putting a lot of confidence in me and trust. But yeah, just got to earn it every day, right?
Thanks, David.
We know what to do. We know how to get into the rhythm fast. And, just got to be professional there and do it. So there's no excuses there. But we still have a couple days left. So I think every day now it's going to be better and better. So we're ready for Friday.
And what do you hope to see from the team when it comes to Friday? You guys have had these practices that have been so dialed in, so intricate in their detail from my vantage point of watching. What is the hope here for Game 1, other than obviously a win?
Yeah, I mean, having a plan, going out there, having a plan, know the way we want to play, and just be dialed in from the get-going and obviously have some fun.
What was sort of it been like to have yesterday as a group? I know you guys have had a couple dinners, but also to maybe just explore a little bit. You've been here a lot, but how nice was that to sort of have that day to start acclimatizing even more?
Oh, it was good. Obviously, the first day was a pretty long travel day. We got a good skate in, but obviously the body's adjusting to time different and all that. So yesterday was a good recovery day for us all. Got a little walk, got some tourist stuff in. Me and Markstrom walked around a little bit, had lunch, so it was a good time, and it's a good time for us to get together as a group a little bit and spend some time off the ice as well.
How many coffees?
I'm usually don't have more than 2, so I stick with that.
Right side, second row.
Jesper, you were one of just 2 guys still left on the team and played in every game last season. But injuries definitely seem to be a story around you, with some injuries popping up already, especially on the defensive side. How do you let that not be a distraction or kind of a definition of what's going on in training camp?
It's just part of our business, unfortunately, that injuries happens. And we talked about it a lot over the years. It's the guys in the room that has to do it. And it's the guys in the room that are going to get the job done. So obviously we're hoping those guys have a speedy recovery, and we're going to get the job done during the time where they're missed. And when they come back, they're going to be ready to go.
Left side, third row.
Playing in Europe is always something special. Are you expecting a different atmosphere than in USA?
Oh, fans here is always great. Every time I played here, even in national team stuff as a young junior player and also in a world championship, the crowd is always bringing a lot of energy and a great atmosphere. And obviously we're anticipating that as well, and we're hoping that they're going to be great like they always are.
Back of the room.
Jesper, I just want to ask, you grew up obviously playing on the Olympic size. We used to come to the Czech. It was always Olympic size, but it's kind of transitioning to the NHL size rink. I'm just curious, from your point of view, why do you think the NHL rink is becoming popular? What does it create that maybe the big rink didn't? Just what have you seen?
Well, obviously it creates a more attack mentality because the ice is not as wide. When you play in Europe, you get a lot of space to the outside. The rink gets a little wider, and when you come over to North America, the game gets a little more north-south, and you attack the net a little more because you don't have as much space. You have to make decisions a little quicker. You have to get quicker in front of the net. And in Europe, you can more circle to the outside, and I think that's why it's fun with the NHL and North American rink size. That it gets more of an aggressive game, and people take more pucks to the net, and a lot more things happen.
Is it more physical?
Yeah. The game is tighter, so you don't have as much space. So obviously it gets tighter. You have less space, and that's why it gets more scoring chances.
Left side, front row.
Hey, Jesper. Coach Keefe has talked about playing with pace, but I'm just curious, how is his pace maybe different than what Lindy was stressing years ago?
Well, he has a really good structure, and he has good attention to detail. That he knows how we need to play out of our strengths. He's got a great focus. He's great at communicating to us to know what those sprints mean. It's the sprints with the puck, it's the sprints without the puck. It's getting to your spot so quick as possible to support each other. And he's just been really good at communicating that, and it's going to be exciting for both this short time that we have had to practice this, but also long-term season-wise to get better at this.
We'll take one more for Jesper on the right side, Eric.
Yes, we just saw a big media contingent assembled around Andre Palat in the locker room, and just wondering what it's like seeing him be the center of attention in his home country.
Oh, it's awesome. He's such a great guy and such a role model for all of us. And I'm super happy for him getting this chance for him to come home to Prague and play in front of his home fans and his country. So I didn't really get the chance to do it in Sweden. I kind of had, but got unfortunately injured before that game. But for him, I'm super excited. He's been an amazing player for a long time, and especially for Czech, and for him to coming back here, it's going to be a great moment. So we're all super happy for him.
Nemo, we've already talked about it a little bit back home in Jersey, but to be here now, close by to home, or as close as you're going to get for an NHL game, what's it like to be here in this arena, knowing that you'll be playing representing your NHL team, and something you've told me that when you were a kid, you would grow up watching those European games?
Yeah. I'm not home, but yeah, I feel like I'm home. Yeah, I can understand so many people here, and yeah, it's good to be here. And yeah, when I was 6, probably, I just came here, watch Bruins against Phoenix, and yeah, I still remember this game, and yeah, I'm so excited for these 2 games.
On the right side, third row.
Shimon, we just talked to Jesper about it, and you had gone through some injury stuff this summer. You're starting to get healthy, but some other people on the back end have now gotten hurt. What's been the adjustment like, and how have you guys as a defensive core kind of adapted to some guys coming in and out of the lineup?
Yeah, obviously it's not good if we start the season and we have 3 guys hurt. But yeah, we have so many good players now, and we just want to play our game. Doesn't matter if we miss 2 guys or we are full squad. But yeah, we just focus on the games, and yeah, I think our decor is pretty good now.
On the left side, third row.
Shimon, what do you think about the chances of Jakub Zbořil to make the team? Obviously, you didn't see him play in this last games, but...
Yeah, I just saw he scored yesterday. It's good for him, but I don't really know chances. It's not on me, but yeah, I played with him last game, and he's a good player. He's a good skater, and yeah, I like playing with him.
Right side in the back.
Shimon, it's interesting you mentioned you were here when you were 6 to watch the Coyotes and the Bruins. David Pastrnak was 14. It was also the first game that he saw here, same one. Do you ever think about the fact that there could be a couple of future NHL players in the stands Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, this is really good stuff for the people from Europe. They can come and watch best league in the world, and yeah, probably a couple guys they will be there.
We'll take another one on the left side, third row.
Shimon, you mentioned that you feel almost here, like at home. How many people from your family will be on the stands?
Yeah, around 20. Yeah, and it's nice because it's not too far from my home, and yeah, I'm really excited because my grandparents they can't fly to US, and this is a really good opportunity for me just play in front of them. Yeah.
There are no more questions. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you too.
Sheldon, today at practice and the other days we were kind of watching to see Seamus Casey being on that second power play unit at that quarterback position. What is that? Should that tell us about what he's done this first camp that he's had, and the trust that you see in just this short little time?
Yeah, well, I think as we've talked about, there's opportunity there with our group right now. Given that Luke and Pesher are not with us, so that's opened the door for others to step up, and in the short amount of time we had to assess the players, Casey I thought really stood out in terms of just being confident and being himself, and even though he's an inexperienced guy and he's taken a lot in right now, he showed the ability to help us in that regard. So we think we need some help in being able to move the puck and advance the puck out of our zone, so that gets him in the lineup, and then on the power play, he's shown to be able to help us there too. So I think it's just important, to bring a guy like him into the group. You want to be able to utilize the skills that he has to help him, gain the extra confidence and things that come with those offensive touches. It's a big part of his identity, so we want to make sure that he has that chance.
Left side, front row.
Sheldon, I'm just curious what your off day was like yesterday, if you were able to take in some of the city, or was it work-based?
No, it was a lot of touring around and walking around. Had a good breakfast and great dinner. Spent some time with the coaches. Yesterday through the evening, and first part of the day for each of us was just kind of touring around and doing our own thing, and then we got together as a group and spent some social time together, which is nice. But no, not a lot of work done yesterday. Watched a little bit of video here and there throughout the day when I got back, but otherwise it was just enjoying the day and helping myself adjust to the time change and all those sorts of things, and that went really well. I enjoyed the day, and I was productive in that regard, and felt really good and prepared for today.
Right side, second row.
You mentioned the chance for Seamus to step up. Who's got the harder job, the players that need to step into a higher role, or you to adjust to who you have when injuries strike?
I don't know. I mean, I think I don't know if I describe either role as hard necessarily. I think it's just great opportunity, and I think we've talked about it right from day one at camp, and throughout the summer, I've talked with our coaching staff about it. We want to build something as a group that is sustainable regardless of circumstance, and if things aren't going your way in terms of injuries or bounces or whatever it might be, that you find ways to overcome all of those kind of things. And it just so happens we're dealt with some injuries here to start off to very important people on the back end, which we were very excited about our defense coming in and thought we had a really good group, and now we're going to start shorthanded there. But as we said, there's whether it's Kovacevic, who we've brought in, or in this case Casey is here. White and DeSimone are here on the trip with us as well, and are going to stay ready. There's great opportunity there. So I just think that this is the group that we have, and we'll put together a plan and be prepared to do what's required to win.
Front row on the left.
Sheldon, you may not want to answer this, but the players are saying...
Appreciate the permission.
Yes, yeah, if you say, look, that's part of our game plan. I'm not telling you, Chico. But, they've been talking about the fact, when you ask them, what's different with Sheldon as a coach, they talk about this puck pressure. And they say he's really good at communicating it. Can you tell us anything where you're pressuring the puck maybe a little more than they've been used to in the past, or would that be giving away the game plan?
No, I don't think it's giving away anything. I don't know if it's necessarily any more or less than in the past. I think you just want to be consistent with it. That's the big piece for us, and then recognizing the times when we can't apply the pressure, and in that case you've got to make sure you've got really sound structure to be able to get the puck back or wait for your next opportunity to set the pressure. But in general, we're just making it very clear to our players that the pace that's required is going to require a lot more energy, better conditioning, and just better habits, line changes, shift length, all those kind of things, in order to sustain the necessary pace that's required. And that's going to be a work in progress for us. We took some steps through the preseason in that regard, but it was really disconnected in a lot of ways, and we're trying to utilize the time between our last preseason game and Friday to get that tightened up so that we're ready to go.
On the right side, third row.
Sheldon, these European trips kind of have a tendency to get centered around the player that's from here. You saw it with Nylander in Sweden. It was Peterka for the Sabres in Munich earlier, and now it's Andre here in Prague. What do you think some of the challenges are for the player to kind of keep the focus on hockey and manage all the other stuff that's going on around them?
Yeah, I think it is very unique for that player in particular. We had 3 or 4 in Sweden, but certainly Nylander was the focus there, for good reason. He was playing so well at the time. And, for Palat coming in, I think the challenge becomes just that there's extra on your plate, right? There's friends and family that want your attention, and you want to be able to give attention to them. You want to, fulfill the extra media obligations and fan obligations, and then you also want to make sure you play well and take advantage of a chance to play an NHL game in front of your home country. So, there's things to manage, but I worry about that very little, especially with someone like Andre, who's such a professional and has been through so much throughout his career and all of that. From what I've observed, it doesn't seem to be facing him in any way, and I'm sure he's excited to play, as we all are.
Would we be correct to say that he's probably going to start tomorrow? I'm just kidding. But, the local guy, I think he'll start.
Well, we don't play tomorrow. So.
I were okay, Saturday. Friday. Yeah. Sorry.
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
We'll take 2 more for Coach, front left.
Sheldon, I just wanted to follow up on the discussion about Seamus. One of the things, talking to him, he sort of has this ability of like an us versus like me, because he's new, but you're throwing him into the lineup and he wants to do what's that unique balance for a kid like that who you're throwing into this big opportunity, sees himself as part of the group, but also, different because he's new in the sense and wanting to do. Sure. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, everything's new for him right now. Maybe helps a little bit that we're all here in this this environment. It's not a typical NHL environment for any of us. So to that end, it's it's unique for everyone. So everyone's going through a little bit of adjustment. But part of the reason why Casey's in this opportunity is, for me, what I've observed from his play, and this goes all the way back to Buffalo in the rookie tournament, prospects tournament. He's shown a great ability to not complicate the game, and this is so common for young players, especially young, high-end, skilled defensemen, that they feel like they can make an impact offensively in every single shift. And as you play better and better hockey, that's just not reality. You have to pick your spots, and you have to manage the game and the puck in a way in which you don't create more chaos for your team defensively while you're trying to create offense. He has shown an ability to make the right plays and pick his spots well and not complicate the game for himself or his teammates in the process. And that's why I think I'm not worried going into it. Of course, there's going to be some adjustments and such, but I don't see a player that's going to try to do too much. I feel like he's a guy that has, at least to this point, has shown that he can pick his spots really well, and he plays with a high level of intelligence in terms of how to manage his body, how to manage his shift length, how to manage the puck, so that his skill sets are just that. They're offensive assets at the appropriate time, but he also knows that he's a defenseman, and he's going to manage the game really well to put that at the forefront. And that's going to be really important going against NHL players, in particular a team with such high skill level and offensive firepower the way the Buffalo has.
Take one more for Coach. Back left.
Coach, I think during the last year, Patrick Elias, the Devils legend, was part of some practices in New Jersey as a consultant. Would you like to see him at your practices as well?
He's been there. He's been watching and been chatting with them. And it's exciting to have a chance to be here in his country. And he's such a legendary Devil, and certainly to have him around and a chance to talk to him. I'm excited through the next few days to get to chat with him more. I chatted briefly with him yesterday, but we intend on spending more time together throughout the rest of the trip.
Thank you for your time, Sheldon.
Thank you.